Now, Grand Theft Auto 6 will have a lot of customization, especially when it comes to customizing your character Jason or Lucia. And I have always from the beginning said that the balcony girl is Lucia. And the reason they put it in there is to show how much customization these characters can have and how much fun you can have making the character exactly like how you want it. Now, Jordan commented that he speculates that this is also trying to show that Jason and Lucia will constantly be on the run because they're known criminals and they have to customize themselves to look unrecognizable. And to me, this makes so much sense that I have to make this video about it, because think about the wallpaper art where Lucia has this tracking device, and after the first act of the game in the story, Lucia just gets sick of having that device on her leg, and so she just gets it out of there and flees, changing her whole looks. And I went a little bit deeper into the story and tried to speculate what it can be. So here is my official story speculation of Grand Theft Auto 6. Usually stories are separated into 3 parts, the begin, middle and the end, otherwise known as acts. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So Act 1 is gonna be the descent into crime, where in Port Gellhorn, Lucia steps out of jail with the GPS tracker on her ankles, and that symbolizes her constrained freedom. So let's already pause for a second to explain that whenever I'm telling you the story of what I think GTA 6 is gonna be, I will also be telling you the features and mechanics of the game while you're playing it. So this GPS tracker is not only a symbolization of what Lucia is going through mentally, but also a constraint for the player to not go and visit the whole map. So just like in GTA 4 and San Andreas and Vice City, you are not able to access the whole map. The whole map will unlock as the story unfolds. Back to the story, so the town is kind of feeling empty and like a wasted place where nothing is really going on, and that resembles her feeling of entrapment. Lucia wants to mean something to other people and she wants to be someone. She's kind of a rough person as well. She's kind of a badass. That's why she went into prison. And for the sake of this story, we'll never know why she went to prison. All we know is that she's just getting in trouble very often, and she's used to the prison life. So in terms of game mechanics, before Lucia gets out of prison with the GPS tracker, the game actually starts inside, and so you can learn a little bit about how you can walk, how you can interact with people, because just like in Red Dead Redemption, you can interact and talk to people, but in GTA 6 it's gonna be way more advanced and the things are gonna have a lot more impact. So once finally out of prison, Lucia determines to reclaim her life, and she's going to reconnect with Jason. Yes, reconnect, because Jason is a childhood friend and now starts to do petty little crimes like hustles, carjacks, small time cons with Lucia, and that allows players to familiarize themselves with basic mechanics like driving and melee combat. Now Lucia, if you're playing her, you really have to watch out, because if you have the police on you, you're gonna get 1 more star than usual because of your GPS tracker. So the police will be at your doorstep, or at your footstep actually, way faster than usual because they already know where you are. This introduces a stealth mechanic as you navigate Port Gellhorn and allows the player to go into missions in different kind of ways. It's not gonna be the simple stealth mechanic in GTA 5 that you use once and never again. No, every single mission has multiple ways in the freedom of what you can do as a player to navigate towards the finish of the mission. As the ambitions grow of Jason and Lucia, the duo learns of an opportunity in Vice City. Yeah, the big boy town. Only there is a little bit of a significant obstacle, which is Lucia's GPS tracker. So in a tense mission, Lucia and Jason seek out Dr. Alias, which is a disgraced surgeon operating in the shadows, and he agrees to remove this device for a price. This introduces players to the game's black market and the risks of underground operations. Now, Cyberboy, a fellow YouTuber, has the idea for Grand Theft Auto Online to introduce a second currency next to the regular GTA money. And this second currency is actually like whitewashed money that can be used for illegal purchases. Now, GTA Online as a monetization method for Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive, they are kind of the only ones left who have only one currency, which is just GTA money. You know, if you look at like Clash Royale or all these mobile games or Fortnite, they have V-Bucks and all that type of stuff. You know, this is something that Take-Two is going to have Rockstar introduce into GTA 6, and it's also a great way to kind of distinguish real purchases and illegal purchases for your characters, both in online and the story mode. Now, with the tracker removed, Jason and Lucia can go ahead with their plan, but they first want to make some money before getting into Vice City. So now they plan a high-stakes robbery at Gellhorn's Gold Reserve, which is a local pawn shop, and the same person who gives the opportunity to go and live in Vice City tips Jason and Lucia off with the rumor of that pawn shop, that it houses valuable artifacts. And this is obviously the good old heist mission. You gotta plan some stuff, you gotta be strategic, you gotta adapt, and there is a lot of complex things that you are able to do. You can be creative and do the whole heist the way you want it to as a player. Now, flushed with stolen cash but marked as fugitives, Jason and Lucia make the daring escape to Vice City. And the journey, you know, is going actually pretty smooth, but what you do have to do is keep stealing different cars as you go to Vice City, because that's how the game mechanic works. The police, if they see you in a specific car, they're gonna note the car, and every police knows that you're in that car. So if they see you, then you need to go to a different car. If you're able to evade the police, then it's smooth sailing to Vice City. Now, this is where we go into Act 2, which is the rise in Vice City. And upon arrival, Jason and Lucia secure a modest apartment in Little Haiti, a neighborhood teeming with vibrant cultures and simmering tensions. To blend in and avoid detection, they adopt new identities, utilizing the city's salons, tattoo shops, clothing stores, and everything I talked about in my previous video. Because this introduces players to the extensive character customization options, where if you're altering your appearance, that impacts NPC interactions and mission outcomes even. Their initial forays into Vice City's underworld involve working for a dude named Rico, and he's a pretty charismatic social media influencer, but he has deep ties to criminal enterprises. So Rico, his glamorous facade, masks a ruthless ambition, and he employs the duo for tasks ranging from orchestrating viral stunt videos to sabotaging viral influencers. And these missions highlight the game's commentary on modern fame and the blurred lines between entertainment and crime. As the notoriety grows of Lucia and Jason's, so do the risks. So Lucia's expertise in hacking becomes invaluable, allowing players to infiltrate secure networks, manipulate social media trends, and gather intelligence on rivals. Jason's proficiency in firearms and vehicular maneuvers complements Lucia's tech-savvy approach, which offers diverse gameplay styles. However, the pressure of their criminal lifestyle strains their relationship. Lucia yearns for a more strategic approach, seeking to dismantle the corrupt systems from within, while Jason becomes increasingly reckless, drawn to the adrenaline and immediate rewards. A botched mission resulting in the death of an innocent bystander becomes the catalyst of Lucia and Jason's separation. Lucia blames Jason's impulsiveness, leading to a heated confrontation and their eventual split. Players then navigate parallel storylines, experiencing Lucia's solo missions focused on cyber warfare and Jason's descent into the city's brutal gang conflicts. During their separation, Lucia allies with Maya, which is an investigative journalist exposing Vice City's elites, while Jason becomes an enforcer for a notorious gang. These alliances introduces new mission dynamics and ethical dilemmas as both protagonists grapple with their choices and the paths they've chosen. And this brings us to Act 3, Redemption and Revenge. The discovery of the alliances between Vice City's both social media moguls, corrupt politicians, and all of the gang members, which are all intertwined into big alliances and like a big cult, brings Lucia and Jason back together. Realizing that they've been manipulated as pawns in a grander scheme, they reconcile, driven by a shared desire for, of course, justice and retribution. So their renewed partnership is now tested as they confront these powerful adversaries, including all the politicians, the deep criminal gangs, and also the influencers. The climax unfolds in the Gator Keys, which is the bottom of the map for GTA 6 as we know it right now, where the duo Jason and Lucia plans to intercept a massive arms deal orchestrated by their adversaries. The mission escalates into an all-out battle with players navigating swamp terrains, utilizing ghillie suits and guerrilla tactics, and engaging in intense firefights against the mercenaries and corrupt officials. The environment plays a crucial role, with alligators and unpredictable weather adding layers of a challenge. In a final showdown at an abandoned mansion, Jason and Lucia confront the main villains of the story that they've been meeting along the way. But this leads to a moral crossroads where the player must decide between delivering them to the authorities or straight out killing them. Now, this choice is not really about, killing Lucia or killing Jason, but what you can do is give these villains over to the authorities, and either Jason or Lucia, depending on how you have been treating these players in the story, one of them will end up in prison. And so the last mission is, unlocked. There is a new mission which is breaking one of the players out of the prison. And depending on if Jason is free or Lucia is free, the way that you go ahead and break the other loved one out of the prison will be different. So with Lucia, you're able to hack all that type of stuff. With Jason, you'll be able to use much more force, and that's the way that the show ends. Now, if you decide to kill them, then there's a different mission that unlocks, which is basically one last good old big old heist, because you're on the run anyway, you're a criminal anyway, so you're gonna do one more heist, but you don't go to prison as you kill them before the authorities are there. And that is the story in terms of crimes and the underworld and all that type of stuff. Now, in between the stories, Lucia is probably gonna get a little famous. She has a lot of following. This gives a lot of tension with Jason, because Jason might get a little bit jealous because Lucia is obviously beautiful as a character. A lot of pixels right there. So yeah, that's gonna be a conflict. And there's a lot of other cool strangers and freaks side missions that you can do, such as the Gator Keys, trying to fight alligators or whatever, and going to the Mud Club and going to the studio, seeing how people produce music and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I think GTA 6 will be about. Now obviously this is all speculation and just me having fun, but let me know what you guys think. I'll see you next time. Bye.